Overcast, the podcast beyond World of Warcraft.
Hello, everybody, to the fifth episode of MoCast, the podcast beyond World of Warcraft. And today I will be your host, Flame, with
Marcelian, and well, that's not important. I mean, of course, we're here, but what's more important is the dude that you saw in the thumbnail and the title already. 2 years ago, I called him the combat rogue who didn't give up. It's more to that, actually. You're gonna find out in this episode. So without further ado, let's give it up for Mr. Dalaran Gaming.
welcome back.
Boys, how's it going? Welcome to another insane podcast, boys.
Well, it's been a fun ride so far, and we're super happy to have you, my man. I know we talked before actually recording. We had a similar thing 2 years ago. It was pretty fun, but this time around it's gonna be much more. Should I call it exposed? Is that safer?
I thought you were gonna go with organized, but yeah, we're gonna be more transparent, right? No.
All right.
Clothes are going to be flying off, boys. I see it. It's going.
Yeah, you better watch out. All right, guys. So, Dal, let's just get a little bit into what it is that you do. Who is Dalaran Gaming today?
Ooh, so who is Dalaran Gaming? He is the dude that hasn't ran out of words to use for the 5511 duels names.
That's so true.
I mean, from the words insane to amazing to spectacular. Good thing there's a thesaurus out there and you don't have to pay for it. So I can keep coming up with adjectives. But no, I do 5511 duels. That's one of the things that I do regularly. But also I started originally as just rogue specific updates. And then it just somewhere transitioned to just other class updates, and in general, some rogue PvP stuff focus, some rogue PvE focus, class updates, Shadowlands stuff while that's happening, and then 5511 duels and a mix of things in between. Mostly all having to do with WoW though. So that's Dalaran.
All right, thank you so much. So guys, you should definitely check out Dalaran's content, especially now. He's known for the 5v5 duels. I mean, people flock to that all the time. His live streams, you should check him out on youtube.com/Dalaran Gaming, or by the original name, because this is what I found out. Hope that's okay. youtube.com/SandboxGaming7. I mean, what does that name stand for? What did you think about when getting that Sandbox Gaming name?
So this is actually a stolen YouTube account. So originally it was me and my twin, another guy that looks like this dude. He started doing Halo Machinima series. It's kind of like WoW Machinima, but instead
that
of
was
Halo.
Popular back in the day, yeah.
No.
Back in the day, it was the rave, and that was the first time we had an Xbox 360, one game, Halo on it. I mean, we basically just moved out of Russia to NA, and it was like, oh my god, Halo is a thing. So he really got into the whole machinima aspect, and he started making the channel. And this channel was Sandbox Gaming 7. The first one was Sandbox Machinima. This is the gaming portion. They're supposed to be the same guys behind the machinima, just playing some games. At some point, I just thought to myself, you know what? He did something to me, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to take it. I'm just going to change the password. And I just had it. And then from there, I decided, you know what, let's just actually do something with it. And back in high school, started, and here we are.
Here we are after a couple of, I don't know, maybe some rocky years. We'll get into the whole history of how it all worked out. But it's good to say that it was all in the family. So, you know, Sandbox Gaming, there's no problem. I know about your brother. I think at some point he also did some content. I don't know if he's still that active. He used to do...
So he has a different channel. It used to be Final Fantasy and every other MMO besides WoW. Nowadays he hangs out as a anime cat girl inside of VR chat, but it's pretty successful. To tell you how successful, he literally sells body pillows of his character on them. The front and the. I'm not even joking.
That sounds like a successful business.
It's so far so good, but
so if it doesn't work out, man.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Just get yourself a vibe and make yourself a cat girl avatar and go ham. Just go nuts from there.
That's absolutely beautiful. But hey, man, I want to first off congratulate you on your 2,500 in twos. Now, was that on Outlaw? Please tell me it was on Outlaw.
I recorded every single one of those games,
Oh,
and not a
God,
single
that's
one did I
amazing.
switch to sub or assas. And that was probably the best part. To be fair, this season is highly inflated, so maybe my normal CR wouldn't be this high. But yes, 2500 is Outlaw in twos.
It's a beautiful thing, and it's what that's all I'm gonna say. Did I say he was the? I'm still gonna call it combat. The combat rogue who never gave up. How many goddamn outlaw rogues do you see on the ladder on that rating? I mean, Dal never gave up.
Rating, no, at 2200 there's like 2, but that's that. Yeah,
that's actually really impressive, dude. And I have to say, I have devoured your 5v1, 5v5, 1v1 duels, dude. That's one of the most entertaining PvP stuff I have ever seen, and I love it when you showcase one of the the more underdog specs, especially one that I'm actually getting into. It's like, oh, that spec is wrecking in duels. I want to see that. That's pretty cool.
That's my favorite. If somebody brings in a spec that's not that good or is generally not the meta, those are the fun ones to watch. Especially if they're doing even like a little bit good, like 3 kills in a row. It's not a 1v5, but God, does it feel good to watch that?
It's pretty good. It's amazing. To see demo logs.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm a huge fan. Demo and Shadowlands, by the way, looking. Wow,
oh really?
So good
in PvP? Oh shit! I remember it was.
Well, for me, it's more generally PvE, but I could see how it can translate into PvP.
All right.
They're just much better in general.
Oh, that's good. I was about to ask you because I really want to know this. We also dabble a little bit into class stuff, and I get constant messages, and we get constant comments on YouTube about, oh, when do we get old combat? Oh, new outlaw sucks. Do you miss the old combat rogue, or do you find outlaw now being more entertaining?
I remember when I first saw that they're changing combat to outlaw, and I was peeved. I was not happy. I was like, who wants to be a criminal? I'd rather be my good old combat rogue. But after trying out the playstyle, I think it was Legion Beta with Roll the Bones and the Between the Eyes, I was like, this could be quite good. I like the cooldown reduction. I thought there was definitely something to it. So, and then I couldn't see myself go back to combat at this point. It's all outlaw, and what they're doing with it in Shadowlands, oh my God, is it good? I'm actually a huge fan. Everybody should check it out. If you tried Outlaw and you didn't like the RNG, definitely check it out. Come Shadowlands pre-patch or something along those lines. I think you're gonna like it a lot more.
But Dal, but what about Warlords of Draenor combat, man? What do you remember that? Do you remember the 8-second kidney, the 10-second kidney? 12-second kidney shot with red buff killing spree. I mean, there it is.
Oh no! Oh no!
No, dude. So you have to know this, Flame. So now we're talking about assassination being the meta all around, but back in WoD, until the nerfs, combat rogue was the shit. Like you could not escape that. Like Dal said it. The 12-second, was it 12 or 10-second
that
kidney?
Sounds, whichever one, that sounds incredible.
It was the biggest stun ever, plus the red buff with killing spree. That's it. Beautiful times, beautiful times. And you remember, we used to have feint spammable, and it also increased the movement speed. Do you remember that?
What?
Like you press feint?
Spammable. I think it was burst of speed, separate ability.
Burst of speed.
That one was spammable.
Burst
so you ran flags all day. That's where I quit RBGs, honestly.
I'm trying parallels here to be a fake, because I've started playing PvP a little bit more at the end of Legion. Was mostly doing PvE. And I would imagine the damage profile might have been a little bit different. I dabbled in a couple of arenas in WoD, but as a red mostly.
What a shock! Fun. He played red.
Yeah, it was because the UI told me what button to press. Whenever it was Shen, it was like, "Oh, I'm gonna press that. I'm gonna press that one." And that was pretty cool. But 12-second, 10-second.
That was a good time. I love playing, and as stupid as it was so much fun to play. It was basically sort of like the Havoc DH we have nowadays. It was not complicated to play, but I gotta ask you, Dal. So, it's since we goddamn, I forgot to turn off my phone. Sorry.
Everybody knows now.
I'm sorry. like now, after, you know, we're getting pretty close to the ending of BFA and stuff, and I wanted to ask you, man, what do you think was the best thing about BFA?
Okay. So I'm somebody who kind of, I don't want to say defends BFA, but I don't toss the baby out with the bathwater on it. I think some of the best stuff are some of the new things that Blizzard tried. 8.2 was one of the best patches. Najatar was an awesome zone. Ajara, it's a boss. Just the setup for it was the fight was super annoying to do, but the setup for like the voice acting and all that, it's amazing. I guess seeing the Zoth in some way or another was really, really cool. I think the fact that they tried a bunch of new things, as bad as corruptions ended up being, I think majority of us can agree it's just too much. Yeah. It was really cool concepts, really cool ideas, really cool builds, and even corruptions have allowed specs that are generally not that good to shine by stacking either crazy amount of mastery, versatility, critical strike, or if you're just gushing one fiend in PvP. Like anybody can actually be like competitive because, you know, since corruptions do most of the things for you. I mean, I guess it can make you competitive, but the ones that I like the most are like the versatility, mastery, critical strike, crit damage, all those expedient. The stat ones that really let specs really go ham. I really like that. And yeah, I don't really know what. I think Mythic Pluses also were done pretty well this expansion. Like some of the seasonal stuff was really cool. Additional seasonals. Yeah, and some of the fights, some of the raid fights were really cool. Not all, like the Zoth last raid tier. It was cool the first time we did it, but now it's like, you know,
yeah.
How do we? It's like the whole idea of how do we defeat the big old god as easily as Neolotha? And it's like at first you're like, you know what, they really tried, but then you go to Carapace and you look at like Nazoth and it's just like a JPEG of him sort of like in the background. You're like, well, man,
it felt a bit but I agree. 8.2 was one of their much better works, I would say, and it went to show that, you know, they realized they kind of messed up with the Azerite trace. I'm pretty sure they known much earlier than that, but that was one big ass patch with a lot of shit to do. Najatar was great. I personally loved Mechagon a whole lot, the dungeons included. And also, I loved the essences. It was a cool little idea and cool little fix to what was problematic with the Azerite trade. So now we're on the same fence here, man. I mean, when we bash like Blizz or Ian or whatever, it usually is because of you know, good motive. But at the same time, whatever stuff is positive, you know, we underline it. I mean, you can be that fair and try to be as much as neutral as you can, but it boils down to what type of fun you have in the expansion. So 100%. But what do you think was the worst aspect of BFA? Talked about the best.
The worst, I'd say, is the worst. I don't know. It's I can't really point on what was the worst, but I can tell you which parts I really didn't like.
Sure.
So you take your pick. The beginning of BFA, the fact that there wasn't really not a lot to do besides what is the first raid, PvP season, Mythic Pluses, but like outside of that, there was just, I feel like it was just something lacking. And you realize that even Blizzard realizes because of patch 8.1 with the release, the majority of that patch was actually the raid, but the raid wasn't until a little later. So 8.1 release was some new islands and alts where the gear was already irrelevant for most people. I mean, it was nice for alts, but it was like there was nothing to do. So it kind of reminded me of patch WAD 6.1, the selfie cam. So it wasn't as bad as selfie cam.
Yeah, well,
because at least this gave you stuff to do. But there's just not a lot to do. Like Blizzard had, it seems like they figured out, okay, we actually are in a bit of trouble with this expansion. 8.2 was a whole nother story. 8.3 was a whole nother story. There was a lot to do at the beginning of both of those patches. Whether you liked the content, whether you didn't, there was still a lot to do. So it kept you busy for a long period of time. But the first patch of, you know, the first raid for BFA, there wasn't a lot to do. It just wasn't enough to keep people gripped. And that's the beginning of the expansion. This is the time you want people farming Azerites, doing islands, doing all these things. And yeah, so that's one thing I didn't like. Second is just the outer scaling of how insane corruptions are, because I know the transition from corruptions into the next expansion is going to be weird.
Oh yeah.
Because we are able to test it right now, even in Shadowlands beta, like make a level 50 character.
Yeah.
What turns out is my level 50 character has more health than my level 60 character, even though the level 60 character is 30 item levels ahead.
Yeah.
My level 50 still has 2,000 more health as long as they don't enter the Shadowlands. And he could do more damage. So it's almost like, I don't know. It's just what happens when you have so many of these systems on top of one another. The cloaks, the necklace, the Azurites, and then the corruptions. And the fact that they're not even disabling any of this, which I would prefer if they did. I'd rather start weak, get stronger, not like start strong, go weak, go back up, and then should be on the stars. So yeah, take your pick whichever one of these you don't like. These are the things that I would outline right now as things I'm like peeved about.
Basically, the more or less the thing with the borrowed power, because they kind of tend to do that since Legion. It's a concept they introduced in Legion with the artifact weapons, and they keep on making it in every expansion, BFA, now Shadowlands. But you pointed out a pretty important aspect, especially at the beginning of BFA. It felt weak, it felt hollow, especially when you got your first Azurite gear. The traits were not the ones you wanted. You couldn't really farm that much for it. It was problematic for sure. And this time around, I know for a fact now, you said that your level 50 is much more powerful, but I think like the corruptions will go away. I don't know if in the pre-patch, but I think there was a post somewhere that they announced that the corruptions will be dropping. I don't know about the essences though. I think those will remain until you get like a higher item level necklace or something. But we dropped that, and I think it's pretty much how you exemplified it, man. We'll be here, then we'll drop like necklaces, essences, then we start getting the covenants, legendaries. I think that's how they want to design it. We'll just see. But overall, it should be looking better than BFA. I don't know, just how I feel it. It's different. We have everything from the get-go, so that's a pretty good start.
Oh no, in terms of like the feel already, it's not even the content. It's just the Blizzard's response to some of the community just the feedback.
Yes.
The response to Blizzard's feedback is what gets me excited about this expansion the most.
Yep.
Not the conduits and covenants and soulbinds all have issues, but I'm a huge fan of the customization. But even that, I won't put at the top. The mods and the stories and the zones and the amazing art. The art team again carries it. Bravo, art team.
Yes.
Blizzard. Amazing group of people. However many of you, all beautiful inside out. But it's even with all these things happening in Shadowlands, I have to really give it to Blizzard in the end, because their response to the feedback and constant changes for the better for most parts of Shadowlands as they gone through alpha and beta, that's what really gets me excited about the next expansion, because the response is completely different than what we've gotten in BFA.
Yeah, sure. This all completes like a whole different attitude that they have towards the game, and it's very, very reassuring. They're still keeping stubborn towards certain things, but I mean, that's probably always going to be the case. And even BFA, like you said it, and we very much agree. It's not as bad as people think, as people make it out to be. Those people probably weren't very vocal during WOD to compare it a little bit more. But taking it a little bit outside of WoW for a second here, you put out a lot of videos, a lot of cool videos. Like how do you do it? How does that work? How is your process?
So the process, that's a good one. Wish I could say there was like some kind of a big brain scheme and schedule. I literally can't run by like some sort of a schedule system. The 5-5-1-1 duels, that's pretty easy. You record the 5-5-1-1 duels, take the best of the best bits, cut them down if you need to, but for the most part, you keep everything as is. I have the music already there. I try to put in the time and the effort during the commentary to try to keep it alive, entertaining, funny, whatever it is. Just have fun with it is the most important aspect for me, though. And then the second part of the video is just coming up with a good idea, and that's usually easy if like Blizzard does updates, right? Shadowlands, this class got updated, that class updated, Legendary, so I'm just like, I have all these videos to make. But it's really finding the time to figure out what to do and how to be productive when there isn't just a flurry of updates. It's trying to come up with cool new ideas, cool new things to try, things to talk about, topics. And in the end, as long as I'm having fun with it and it's something I'm enjoying doing, I just put that out as a video. I guess at some point maybe it was a little difficult to figure out how I wanted to get things organized, but I think more about learning how to work smart and not hard, because I don't really feel.
Oh yeah.
There's nights when I feel exhausted after editing until 5 a.m. But if it's a project I'm super into, I'll be happy. But basically, whenever I play WoW, I'm always working. Whenever I'm working, I'm also playing WoW. So I'm trying to figure out how to have entertainment, but also get serious work done. If I'm doing stuff with guildies, that's potential work. If I'm doing stuff with a buddy doing some arenas, that's potential work, potential video in the future works. So it's like I try to think ahead, not too far ahead, because I'm never been a big picture, 5 years from now, what I want to be doing, but like a couple steps ahead, just to make sure I don't stumble in a pothole type of deal. That is a lot of words that doesn't actually explain exactly what I do, but I think at least it gives my mindset of how I go about it. Most of it is just me getting lucky and then being able to wake up early enough in the morning to get some work done. That's really what, in realistic, that's what it comes down to.
Actually, I think you're one of the lucky few that can actually do it a little bit, let's say a little bit more freestyle or more free-spirited. It feels like we and me as well personally, I cannot function productively without a specific structure because I'm way too lazy. But I do subscribe to the work smart and not hard. That's how you get things done. I mean, you can work hard all day long, but it doesn't amount to anything. It doesn't really matter.
I'm curious about something, because if the amount of videos you put out is sometimes like ridiculous. Like I always ask myself, how does it do it? Like how much time do you actually work like on recording and editing and then making thumbnails and titles and descriptions and tags? Like how is that like on a daily basis, on an average? How much do you do that, man? Do you sleep?
Well, I mean, you could see how pale I am, so I don't go outside. So there you go. That's a lot of extra time behind the PC. I do try to get as much sleep as I can. I know my sleep schedule is off, but it's just finding a way to mix having fun but also working at the same time, I think has helped me with the flow. So as soon as I'm behind the PC, I'm basically working, but it doesn't feel like work, so I don't really know how well to quantify it.
Right.
Because a lot of it is just me having fun. A lot of me is just messing around, and I like what I do, and so far it's been good. Again, it's that hard aspect of trying to quantify it, because
I get it.
It feels like I found my rhythm where it doesn't really feel like work, or it doesn't fully feel like work. When it does start to feel like work, I'd say is like when I have a big project and I just got out of a raid, it's 12 in the morning, and I'm like, okay, let's get to put this video. I could be up until like 3, 4, 5 in the morning, and I guess there I really do feel like I'm really putting in work. But it's just
it's basically your dance. You just develop your own dance, your own moves, and you're just going with the music all the time. It doesn't really feel like, hey man, I have to like put in this amount of hours or such and such.
Oh yeah.
But one thing that I never saw in your videos, or maybe it slipped, I didn't ever see you do sponsorships. I am pretty sure a lot of things, companies, weird emails got sent to you with sponsorships. How come you never went into that?
Yeah, looking at my phone, there. I mean, it's not. I don't want to make it sound like, oh my god, I just get sponsorship. I'm drowning in sponsorship. Raid Shadowlands just cannot stop knocking on my door. There's. I mean, from time to time, like right here, I have afternoon. Before we jump into things, from BTTV Daniel Gaming, or we would like to work with you, Dalaran, or collaboration proposal. I mean, I get them. Like I get the actual emails. The biggest question though is like, do I do a sponsorship? Does anybody care? I would love to be sponsored by like Dr. Pepper or Papa John's, because I consume a hell of a lot of Dr. Pepper, and I love some Papa John's on a Friday,
that would be
dude.
super cool.
Like, it's easy to take like any little bit of sponsorship, make a quick buck here and there, but it's like, do I care to throw it at my viewers. You know what I mean? Like, would I care? Right? Would I actually just have a visceral reaction to be like, I don't care about this, and just leave the video? And if I feel like that's what I would do, I feel like my viewers might end up doing the same. A lot of them are a lot nicer. I know I can sometimes be like, in comparison to me and viewers, my viewers are so nice, and I'm toxic, dude. I look at comparison, I just look like the most toxic person ever. But it's like, because I mean, when it's just like it's just something about that internet anonymity kind of deal, you know what I mean? But like when you're watching a YouTube video, like if I'm Dalaran the Rogue, I'm like, oh, that's a nice video. I'll leave a comment for a friend of mine and hit a like or whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah. But if it's just me, just chilling, it's your boy, no Dalaran, it's just the guy that isn't the guy that runs the show behind Dalaran. Like I don't know. If I see an ad and it's a video I want to see, or if it's a thing, I just will skip it and I'll just mutter some obscenity under my breath or something.
You can go ahead with the obscenity, man. It's fine.
Yeah. I haven't taken a single sponsorship because I feel like, one, I haven't had to. I haven't been put in that situation. I can completely understand somebody, like, if you are at a point with YouTube where you do some kind of a content and they are demonetized. I don't talk much about YouTube stuff, first of all. Usually I keep in lane with WoW, but I know demonetization can hit some people depending on the type of content you do.
Yep.
If somebody takes an ad for what is it? It was the shaving thing, Dollar Shave Club, Manscaped. If you take body pillows, like with my twin, or if you do the I don't know, if you have to go to Raid Shadow Legends. I know it's a big old meme, but like, if you make your money, do your thing. It's just, I feel like I haven't been put in that situation where I had to, but also I wouldn't want to unless it's something that I like feel passionate about as well. And I feel like, yes, you can make a quick buck, but staying honest to yourself and honest to your viewers type of deal, I feel like way overrides it. So
that's 100. You know, we were almost this close to do a Raid Shadowlands sponsor.
If you do it, if you have to take Raid Shadow Legends, make your money, do your thing. Everybody will everybody will understand. I feel like your viewers will understand if you're in that situation. But
it was. I mean, I can understand some folks who go for it. I just don't understand the big ones, because I've seen the Raid Shadowlands advert on a couple of big YouTube channels, and like, why? I mean, I can understand folks like us who are, you know, maybe getting at some point, like we're getting hit by something or there's an apocalypse, and usually those affects the smaller ones more than the big ones. The big ones have other, you know, entities to rely upon, right? But when you have 2 million subscribers and your videos average for 500 to 1 million views, 5,500, why would you do a Raid Shadowlands sponsorship? Why? I don't understand. Why? You greedy. It's fine. We dropped it. It's cool. But it's nice to see the mentalities. It's actually a healthy mentality you have, because it's basically, hey man, if I don't need to, I don't. I just stick around and keep it 100 with the viewers. And I'm pretty sure if you will ever do a sponsorship, it would have to be something you really love, right? Like Dr. Pepper, which I also love, and Papa John's or whatever. So that's super cool, man. I hope you do get a sponsorship by that. I'll be the first one to use an affiliate link.
Because I remember, what is a 5-1 video? I was like, I did like it's like better something, better pizza, Papa John's, but I changed it for the duels one time. Right. I don't know. I tried to remember exactly what I said. I won't be able to remember at this point.
It's all right.
But no, that'd be cool. But on your point of like a channel with 2 million viewers type of deal, like even if they did Raid Shadow Legends, like we don't know how long this YouTube gig will last. I'm just having fun with it, and I think a lot of people are too. So if make that money while you can, kind of deal. I completely understand. I completely understand it. Like even if it's a big channel, definitely I'm not gonna judge either one. Even if it's a small channel, big channel, it's rough out there, man. Some people do get demonetized pretty hard. I don't talk about it, but my channel has been pretty good so far. My twin's channel completely demonetized for the stuff he does. I understand why they would. I just feel like maybe it's, come on, he's just literally running around as an anime catgirl avatar and making lewd jokes with friends.
It's weird.
It's the game. It's the game. At one point, you just have to, you know, play the game to survive. But hopefully, and that's awesome to hear that sometimes you don't. Sometimes you're just good enough and you don't need all of that noise, all of that stuff. And that's actually pretty cool, man. So congrats to you for that. And, you know, I mean, it's going pretty well. Man, you're like putting like a lot of content out. Did you ever think about, you know, starting a second channel or something like that?
Ooh.
Yeah, I thought about it. I thought maybe at some point even not even doing WoW stuff, and it was way early. There's no way I'd be able to keep up with the second channel. It would be fun, but there's no way I'd be able to. I would end up dropping it pretty quickly. I know for sure.
But what about? I'm kicking this off after we had the talk with Hiro Maridex, and he basically he runs 4 channels, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 4 channels, but he doesn't edit a video on any one of them. He hires editors. You ever thought about that?
Well, that'd be kind of cool, actually. Because that's quite a bit of time of like actually editing the video, putting it together, and rendering that would be cut out. No, I can't even imagine doing. Would that work? I haven't even thought about it, but even the idea of it, I just can't even imagine because I've done everything myself: thumbnails, video editing.
Yeah, it's
solo.
It's a super scary thought. If you did it yourself for this long, it's like scary. It's like it's your baby, you know. It's your precious, but it has to pay off. It has to pay off. It's like I think if you want to consider hiring an editor, it has to be like, you know, in the purpose of you being able to put out more content or at least develop something fresh or new. You know, and you know, to maybe compensate, because Hiro did mention that half of his income goes to his editors, half. And judging by a very popular Yu-Gi-Oh channel, the WoW channel, and a couple of others that are a little bit smaller but in development, I'm pretty sure that's a pretty significant amount. So it's something that I think all content creators could consider at some point, but man, whatever I think about it, like, it's really scary. Like,
there's a large level of trust that you need to have to be able to And I think even more than that, it has to be somebody that really vibes with you, right? Really gets your kind of personality, your kind of style, your kind of videos. And if you do find something like that, that's actually pretty cool. But I feel like that's the kind of person that you can, you know, entrust with, like, hey, you know, you can do the 5v5 duels, and I'm gonna start this other stuff, and that thing can turn into something really cool.
Yeah, I actually haven't even considered. That's
food for thought.
Yeah, definitely food for thought, because I'm still trying to wrap my head around, not really like, you know, the trust, but rather like the amount of time you would have, the amount of time you could save. That's what I'm really.
It's revealing.
Wow,
shedding some light.
Yeah, maybe I'm starting to kind of jive with the idea. I would be too weird. I'm someone who, I wouldn't start doing something like that, you know, literally the next day or anything.
Obviously, it has to be thought out.
Yeah, that's actually a really good thought. I do wonder how many people have an editor and how that works for them. I feel like I should just ask around now. It's like, how does that work? All that, you know, get the details on it.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the more popular ones, let's say, that worked and still works with Hiro, it's Captain Grimm. I don't know if you heard of him. He does a lot of machinima stuff.
Have I heard of Captain Grimm? Are you kidding me, dude? Oh, he's my really good. Goodness. Yeah. I can watch his videos over and over, and they're so well put together. Yeah, man. I don't play a lot of classic, but they are hilarious. I feel like me and my girl have watched through every one of those classic machinimas he's put out since like the release, and they're still a class. They're going to be a classic for years to come. They're so well put together. Yeah,
that's what I say. A very good editor, Dal.
Oh yeah,
it's and then he basically he blew up doing this stuff and actually getting a little bit of clout from Hiro as well. But the main sauce was his quality and, you know, his delivery and all that. It's just exquisite. It was bound to happen. All right, man. You do also a lot of streaming, so folks, you have to follow his channel once again. Dal does a lot of streaming. but he does it on YouTube. Now, I would be curious, why did you choose YouTube over Twitch?
So originally I did stream on Twitch, and my twin used to stream on YouTube. Now it's like flipped. So now he's on Twitch and YouTube. But he was like, he kept telling me I should stream on YouTube. I should try YouTube. It's a really good, not as bad platform as everyone says. One summer, after being finally done with college, I was like, you know what? I will try it. I'll try it for 3 days, and it really came down to being able to reach more people more readily on Twitch. Like somebody who hangs out on YouTube, they might come over to Twitch, but it's almost like sometimes pulling teeth.
Yeah,
I understand if you don't like the platform, maybe you're not a huge fan, maybe, I don't know, maybe it doesn't load as really any issue. Whether you, I don't really know. For any reason, you might not like Twitch. Quite a bunch of people didn't. And so the amount of viewers I could reach on Twitch was low in comparison looking back. At the time, I didn't really care, right? But at the time, looking back at it, the reach was much lower. The growth on Twitch, I feel like also was a little bit harder in comparison. Because with YouTube, I started streaming on YouTube. Everybody who watches the channel and subscribed comes over to check out
that's the beauty of it.
Not going to be everybody, but a good portion. I mean, they like the videos anyway. They're going to also say hello and stream, maybe hang out for a bit, see what I'm doing. Maybe stick around for the whole time, maybe not. But it made it a lot easier to reach an audience that I already had on YouTube. So that's what I really liked about YouTube. The platform isn't that bad. You can upload emotes like immediately, and they're available to everybody who is, joined the membership or like equivalents to Twitch subscription there. So that's kind of nice. But mostly, is a reach of people kind of, and seeing the growth, and the growth feeds back into the channel, and it feeds back and you get some growth from videos, and it feeds back right into the channel, and it's like a loop. You're constantly growing the channel, whether by you doing videos or streaming. On Twitch, you basically have like a separate thing. It's a separate thing you're growing, and the growth for it is different. I feel like the things you have to do and the time that it takes, the patience. Because yes, someone might subscribe to you on YouTube, but it's not always a necessity that I'll go check out your Twitch.
Yep.
Maybe if I was a channel that streamed primarily and then just edited some clips and some videos onto YouTube, that might have been different. Because a lot of guys like Cedu, for example, and
that's what I was thinking. Cedu,
a lot of those guys, even Sfend is another good example. Like their YouTube channel isn't like massive and amazing, blown up or anything like that. I guess Asmongold would be another example too, because that's really what the content has been. Take the best parts, throw on YouTube, which perfectly fine. Do your thing. But S-Fan would be a better example. His YouTube channel isn't like massive, but on Twitch, he's huge. He's taking a break right now, but so you won't be able to catch him. But his VODs, look at him. He has a really cool community. The chat is going super fast every time he's in a classic BG grinding for the rank 14. Like he has an audience, and it's massive on Twitch, but not as big on YouTube. But the YouTube feeds back into Twitch and gives him popularity on Twitch. I feel like if you have mostly YouTube and you stream on Twitch on the side, I feel like that's harder to grow on Twitch if you're not spending most of your time on Twitch making content for Twitch, and then you use YouTube to get more people to Twitch kind of deal. So it just ended up working. YouTube is better for me in terms of just growth and seeing more people join and more people to interact with mostly. That's, I think, was the most exciting, is just seeing new people, more people, bringing in more people, more eyeballs. And yeah, it's just, there's a bit of that satisfaction. Maybe it's like, maybe that's not something you should be chasing, but there's definitely that satisfaction of seeing more people hanging out, new people, new topics, new ideas to chit chat with, new people to pog in the chat when you do something mildly cool. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what really drove me to YouTube, is just seeing more of that way. I think if Twitch ended up doing that for me, then I probably would have stuck around on Twitch. And maybe if I were to switch to Twitch, it would happen too. Just haven't had the drive to want to do that yet. Satisfied where I'm at right now.
Well, it feels like that. We had our YouTube streaming days before switching over to Twitch, and it felt like a little bit more comfortable. It felt like a little bit more homey, and clearly with the feedback that we got a lot was like, oh, I'm so glad you guys are streaming on YouTube. It's so accessible. And of course, if maybe one of your main drivers is your YouTube channel, being able to put the stream there is like everybody's just, another video, a stream, let's check that. But when you go to Twitch from YouTube, then yeah, there's the transition is slower. People are like, wait, what?
Yeah.
How many comments did we get lately with, oh, I've been watching your stuff for so long,
Yeah.
I never knew you were streaming. It's like,
Well, the thing is, obviously, it's much easier to get that viewership on YouTube if you do YouTube first. That's 100%, and it's easier to grow. And they did improve the platform a lot. I think in a couple of years, if Google would really want to, they would just obliterate Twitch. If they would put, because they have the resources, they have the power, they have the fucking bandwidth, the servers, everything. They would do it, man. But they have improved the platform quite a lot, and it's pretty cool to see. Because for the longest time, Twitch did not have any competitor. We just seen the mixer shut down. That's been a complete mess. There's Facebook Gaming or Facebook.gg. But
Come on, Facebook? Are you kidding me?
I mean, but no, I mean, it's interesting. As we started also streaming on YouTube, the first couple of months was like, but why don't you guys move to Twitch? It's nice that you stream on YouTube, but come to Twitch. It was like, at some point we did a poll, on the community tab and said, okay, I want to do the streaming thing. Where do you guys want to see it? Like the majority said Twitch. So okay, let's talk. But you're absolutely right. It took a long time. Like if we streamed on our first sessions on streams on YouTube, we got at the beginning, 40, 50 views, which was amazing for us. We moved to Twitch, 5 viewers, which was me and him, and 3, I don't know. So it took a while, and it still is. But we invested, I mean, it depends on how you feel comfortable, how you want to invest your time, how to like plan it all out. All good in the long run, but I do believe YouTube gaming, the streaming things on YouTube will eventually grow pretty high. I'm honestly smelling something with the big ones. Like since Ninja, the Mixer finished out, I'm thinking this. Okay, maybe Dr. Disrespect, maybe Ninja. I'm thinking something is happening there with YouTube. That is
Maybe. Or they're gonna start their own platform, and this is all just a scheme to get all the streamers off Twitch and try to, make a real competitor.
Shall we put our tinfoil hats a little bit?
I mean, we can. How far would this rabbit hole go? Because then we'd have to address why would Doc get banned, and then now we got a real rabbit hole to dig ourselves out of.
What I mean? It's a big one. Now, poof. All right, man. So I think it's been so cool up until now, man. It's a really cool talk. I love it. All right, my man. So it's without a doubt, at least in my view, that you're one hell of a workaholic. I mean, you work a lot. Okay, you have your rhythm and whatnot, but you must have days when you and I know Thursday is one of your days off from 2 years ago. You kept that since back then. But I'm really curious, like, how is a complete day look like when you're not streaming or playing or editing? What do you do to unwind?
So I haven't had an actual Thursday, which is my day off from streaming, but it's not my day off. That's usually one of my busier days when I get to take care of IRL things. So if, let's say, I need to change the oil in the car, that's when I do that. Cleaning the house just to make sure it's not a mess, probably the day I do that. Any issues to take care, that's probably when I try to save everything for Thursday. Bulk editing videos, usually Thursday. I don't really have like an actual day off, to be honest.
Really?
The only time I can actually have a day off, is if I edit videos ahead of time. Like if I have, recently I was able to get a bunch of legendaries thing done for Shadowlands, since a bunch of them came out. So I took the time to stay up until late to get a bunch of characters done, at least have it recorded, and then the next day I would bulk edit them as many as I could at a time. So then the next day I actually didn't have anything to edit. So I would do some of my basic WoW things, but I actually get to play another game and just kind of chill for an hour or 2 or 3, and then get to do my arenas with my arena partner and just relax for most of the day. And that's so I don't actually get a lot of like actual breaks or days off. Thursday isn't actually it's just a day off from streams. So
All right.
like right now it is. Today is Thursday. But yeah, I don't really know. Like looking back at it right now, I'm like thinking, man, this might be actually a little bit unhealthy. Oh my god.
I was about to say maybe you should.
I'm reflecting here. No,
Well, that's good,
no.
I was actually thinking, as like, hey man, if you feel like you don't need a break, then that's awesome. The body and the mind clearly wants a break after a certain point, but if your workflow is in such a way that, hey, I'm working a lot, but I feel fine and it's good, then props you, man. It's actually really cool.
Yeah, I think it has to do with the dance and the rhythm that I've developed, and maybe that's what helped me cope. And then, because like in like sitting there for an hour, I'll end up working maybe 20-30 minutes of it, and then 20-30 minutes is just me relaxing, watching the stream while the video is rendering or something. So
There you go.
yeah, it's and that's kind of like how it is. Some hours I'm more relaxed, some hours I'm more working, and it's just yeah. No, I feel like at some point I should just take like a day off and just really reflect and figure out, and maybe get us some kind of a hard set schedule, just so I don't get overwhelmed. IRL things can come up from time to time.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm actually now using this time to just reflect and like, man, maybe I should plan for this before.
Hey,
I put myself into more trouble at a later time. I haven't thought about it much, honestly.
Oh, we do want to keep seeing Dalaran's video, and that's for sure.
Yeah, so man, you gotta take care of yourself. Be better, and the content is gonna get better too.
True.
It's a wonderful thing. Flame, do you have?
Yeah.
I think he mentioned something.
Yeah, I wanted to hook on something that you mentioned earlier. You said that you started doing YouTube. Actually, you didn't say how many years ago it was, but it was some time ago after you came from Russia. So, is it safe to assume that you are originally from Russia?
Yeah, originally from Russia.
No way. Did we get this 2 years ago? I don't think we got this.
What, Russian? Hello? Did I not mention?
No, I don't think so. Oh, maybe it did.
How did it came to pass that you came to the US and started doing YouTube? Like, how does that story go?
So I mean, it wasn't a plan to come to US how do stories start? My mom met my stepdad. She's Russian, he's from US. Then she chatted and just dated or whatever, and then at some point they were like, for to come to a US, it might be better than Russia. And at the time, I feel like the time spent here, the divide got even more worse. It's just nobody in Russia really knows this. But if you're looking outside, from US, you're like, oh wow, this is getting worse and worse in Russia. I mean, the transaction for ruble to the dollar goes up and up, and I'm like, oh my god, good thing we left when we did, kind of deal. But there was a couple of things. But it was mostly our mom, just for me and my twin, looking to the future and just like, is there a future in Russia, or maybe America might be an actual legitimate choice. So then we came to America, and I've been here for quite a bit of time. And the only time I really started, we started really doing the YouTube thing is just started with a fun Machinima Halo thing back in middle school / high school. And then somewhere in like junior year of high school is when I really started making the WoW videos, because around then I really got into WoW, and I was like, watching Swifty, watching Mercator back in the day, watching Census, watching Kobrak. You get inspired by these guys, and you try making a couple of videos, and then you make another, and then you get some sort of a schedule for some sort of small video series. I used to look at the forums and just to chat about WoW forums while WoW stuff played in the background. And I would try to do that at least once a week. And then you add an extra video, add an extra video, add an extra video. And you do it so regularly, you get to figure out how your schedule is in high school and then in college, and then try to make sure you don't fail your senior year while trying to also run the channel. And then getting through that year quite easily, and then having to reboot the channel back up, because I did take a week off break, like no videos. And I was like, okay, now that I'm done with college, now that I'm in school, I can go back and focusing. And I think it's a short version of how all that kind of came.
Just a small parenthesis here. Flame, do you know who Mercator is?
I was about to say that name is familiar, but I don't remember the details.
So I can tell this. I know Dal started playing in Cataclysm, and I think in Cataclysm that was like when the most of the PvP content creators' popularity kind of blew up, and it was Swifty. Dal mentioned Swifty. There was Mercator Census. Now Census was really good rogue. Mercator was a rogue, and he had. I remember this is so like stained on my brain. You remember his intro, Dal, with the gentleman assassin thing? Like,
hey guys, Merc here, or some shit like that, right?
With the accent, he was Australian or something. Pretty, pretty cool. And also, let's not forget Athene, man, because you know they had the whole thing like when Athene. You remember when Swifty got banned, and then Athene made his comeback through Swifty's ban. When I remember that was so epic when they were walking through the storm in, I don't know, Cathedral or whatever, and everyone was like, oh man, Swifty. Oh. Okay, I just railed off a little bit, but I wanted to ask you, Dal, like you said like you guys came from Russia. Do you ever, I mean, since you came to the US, did you ever go back there? I mean, you know, for, I don't know, relatives or I don't know, friends you had, or did you just completely wipe that part of your life?
I haven't been to Russia back at all. I still have a lot of relatives there. They were actually thinking of going out of Russia, either here or somewhere else. I think there's some family in I don't even remember. It's been a while. Yeah. It's either here or either to US or somewhere else in the area, not Europe. I think it's, I don't remember. I'm not even gonna pretend like I know. No, I haven't been back. Nope, haven't been back. So I don't really know how the laws and rules are in Russia, but I know that if we were to come back during a certain period, we basically would get thrown into the Russian military because you have to serve.
Oh, really?
The citizenship thing. Yeah, that's everybody has to serve in the Russian military at some point, and it's not pretty. At least a while ago. I don't know if it reformed or maybe anything changed now. So I'm not gonna, pretend like I know. But I remember one of our family members actually got to get out of military service due to health issues, and I remember everybody in family were really, really happy about it.
Yeah.
So if everybody in my family were happy about it, then the military must have been like really, really bad. For the time being. So maybe they changed it completely, but that was one of the reasons why we didn't go back is you literally could just get thrown in the military, or maybe I don't even know if you could. The way Russia operates, and like in terms of US, after Cold War, I feel like
it's probably
maybe a little weird.
Still cold waters.
I feel like, especially, don't want to get into politics, but especially in the recent political environment that in US we've had, I really just don't know, so I'd rather not even like step on that bear trap and see what happens. You know what I mean? Is it armed? Is it not? I'd just rather chill. Yeah. But no, haven't. Because also as a kid, I remember back in Russia, it's other things. Like, and again, maybe they changed back in the day, but in Russia as a kid, me and my twin were always sickly. We always had like some kind of like a rash breakout that was like also itchy, especially during summer. As soon as we came to US. Stopped. So my mom would explain back in the day, like it's something about the ecology and the quality of air, quality of water type of deal, like in US versus Russia. It was just a heaven and earth kind of deal. So
there you go, man.
I'm glad it worked out, man.
Oh yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Here you are, a grown man doing content for WoW and YouTube and stuff, and happy stories to share. Like it was one of the better, let's say, moves you and your family, or you and your twin and your moms did. So, hey, definitely, man, if it's good in the end, more power to you, my man. It's beautiful things like this, make you more humble or appreciative for things, I guess.
Yeah, perspective, context. Teaches you some things, and here I thought. You might miss it, or you're longing to go back, or something like that.
I mean, I miss the family, I guess. I haven't seen them in a while, so at some points, when you haven't seen a family member in a while, it's almost like they feel almost like strangers. Like, they're your family, but it's like you haven't seen them in so long. It's just like there's definitely a little bit of that disconnect compared to my twin or my mom who are here in US. Like you can see them regularly, you know, that never fades. But like talking to my grandma over the phone sometimes, it's almost like is that the same person as I remember kind of deal.
Yeah,
so it's still family, but sometimes definitely can feel like strangers. So I think that would be cool to get that back, you know, be able to see them more regularly or at least visit them at some point and reconnect again on that level. Like I'll still think of them as family, but it's still just that weird feeling. I just want to find a way to erase it. But as for like Russian, I have so many Russians popping into the chat. I at least get to regular practice the language. It's nice. Really bad. I speak on a 5th grade level at this point, but at least I get that regularly here. You know, speaking a bit of Russian, reading Russian or whatever. So yeah, there's portions of it I miss, but like interactions, I still get those here and there.
Oh, that's nice. That keeps you connected, and it's still still a skill to have.
True.
And talking about skills, like Marcel and I are grinding the rating to get to an arena, and you got to 2.5k. I know that takes a lot of time. Like, do you have time to play any other games? Although you did say that you don't have a lot of free time, or you don't give yourself a lot of free time, but do you ever dabble into anything other than WoW?
During the render times, Dal. During
the render times, of course. No. It's productive.
Yeah, well, I feel like if there was another game that, like I remember, I finished Witcher while running the channel, not recently, like a while ago. But so there's moments when there is a game on my radar, I definitely do try to make time whenever I can. Finish Witcher, I'm playing Fallout. I got a couple other new games that I want to play, but if WoW gets me like super excited and there's stuff to do in WoW, I usually would just play WoW because that's like, it's not the game I do videos for, so I better grind it a little bit longer to get more footage. I really do enjoy playing WoW, so I guess right now there is a downtime of patch 8.3. Right now I still have the drive, PvPing or whatever, so that's kind of like my time with WoW, doing the dungeons, Mythic Pluses, trying to parse in raids, beta, I guess you'd call it as well, playing because that is all new and fun and exciting. But right now, is there another game for me to play? Not really. There's a couple of games that I just messed with here and there that I got on Steam Summer Sale. But if I get the drive and patch 8.3, nothing going on, beta will have eventually updates stop happening, whatever. If I get the drive to want to play someone, I'll definitely try to make time. But right now, there's no other game that I'm playing.
All right, fair
enough. I mean, hey man, you finished Witcher 3 in a time. That's a pretty cool game to finish while playing WoW, because it's more or less.
That's not a skill I have.
it's all good. But looking back on your YouTube journey, Dal, is there something you would do differently, like something you would completely change or anything like that? Pretty sure there's no regrets, but
I mean, in the end, I wouldn't be the same person if I didn't take the similar action or the same action.
Yeah.
True. But no, there's definitely a couple regrets that I won't call them regrets, but there's things I would have done differently. I feel like the YouTube thing definitely inflated my ego. So if I could find a way to go back and keep that in check, then I totally would do that. Because there's some people that I've had a good relation with, and due to this inflated ego and really just trying to figure out how to navigate the YouTube thing, all these eyeballs on you all of a sudden, all that stuff. If I could find a way to, or at least have maybe someone guide me, telling me, that what you're doing is not okay. You better go make things right now, and yeah, just somebody to help me reflect, I guess, or just have a little bit more self-reflection at that time. I think that would have definitely been helpful. But as for any of the actions, switching from Twitch to YouTube type of deal for streaming, all those things, I'm glad that I took every action. Glad I'm playing Outlaw, all that stuff. But 100%. Yeah, definitely. If there was some moments where somebody could just knock me off my high horse so I could be a little bit less full of myself, I think that would have been really, really helpful. If that's something I would change, I'd probably do that.
It does. It's sad when your life takes you on a road that estranges you from certain people, and it happened with friends as well. It usually happens with life in general. Would you say that those were maybe one of your more impactful moments on YouTube, or did you have something really really set you off, something that really impacted you that you can remember today, or maybe inspired you to do something better or something like that?
That's a hard question. I actually don't know how to answer that. Is there something that
That's what we're all about, Dal.
No, that is a hard question. I feel like I should. Someone that inspired you. I feel like there's this boilerplate answer that's available there for something like this. Like watching someone do something, you're like, wow, I'm gonna really try the channel thing, and I don't really know how to answer it.
But like
even that answer is kind of good, because a lot of people can get inspired, but not a lot of people can actually take that and make something of it.
Like, what would you say was the most rewarding moment since doing YouTube? There must have been some moments like, oh man, this is so cool. Like it could be.
Okay, so getting the 100,000 subs plaque that's sitting up right now. That's a really, really cool one, because this is like the first time you really get like, I mean, of course, like regular reviewers, like, dude, you're doing so good. You're doing like really good channel growth and whatever, right? It's awesome. But in most cases, I'm just like, I try not to really swim in the compliments for too long, right? I don't want to, drown in the compliments. I just like try to stay humble, say thank you. I couldn't do this without you guys, but then get right back to the videos and move on to the next thing and just kind of keep going and not really, because I used to take time to reflect on every single achievement, like 10,000 subscribers, 50,000 subscribers, 70,000. Let's make a montage kind of deal. But I was like, at some point, okay, let's just grind. Let's just keep going. Let's just do more. Let's just do better. And then when the plaque arrived, it was like a physical thing you can hold. And it's like, wow, everything so cool. I did online, and I can actually hold it in my hand.
That's a tangible reward. Must feel really awesome.
Yeah, no, that was really, really cool. I mean, yeah, no, that's probably would be the one thing that I could point to.
It's a good one. Oh.
And swimming in the sea of compliments, as you said, Dal, that can really add up to that big ego you were talking about. So it's good to
definitely.
I mean, I think it kind of goes hand in hand at some point, and you just want to, I don't know, keep it in check at some point, but growing and growing and growing. I think it's only human that at least some part of your ego, some part of your self-confidence, some part of your ways of expressing and stuff need to be a little bit more, I don't know, solid to people. Some people might find that intimidating, but that's fine, man. It's, it's becoming something you always wanted. Maybe you set out this for yourself at some point. It's like, okay, man, here I am in, I don't know, 2018 with 60K subscribers or 70K subscribers. Man, I want to hit that 100K subscriber mark. I think it's okay to have a little bit of ego. You worked for it. You haven't had a day off. You said it yourself in a whole lot of time. So, fuck it. But not too much. Keep it in check.
Yeah. I can definitely attest to that. Yeah. Eventually, the biggest reflection that I had while doing the YouTube thing is at some point, is this the pretense of stop being perfect type of deal? Because I always like every time I get on camera, every time I do the stream, every time I do everything, I try to like be perfect. And it's yes. At some point I realized it's okay not to, and let the mistakes and everything just be part of the journey.
Oh man, that's such a good advice.
It's all part. It's personal growth, personal journey. You're gonna make mistakes. It's mistakes that everybody will see because you're putting everything online. Yeah. But it's okay. You'll just grow out of it, and you'll become a better person, and you'll just do better. And it's just getting to that point and just figuring out, okay, I'm not a perfect person. I understand my flaws, type of deal. My ego can easily be blown up, type of deal, and just kind of accepting it. I think that's like the most important part that I learned out of the whole YouTube. If I had to like make it like a learning experience, but yeah, like I'm somebody who, like you said, sometimes it's fine to pat yourself on the back. For me, I know that I know my mistakes. I know the issues that or the imperfections that I have. So for that one, I'm like, I can't really pat myself too hard. I'll leave that to somebody else to tell me compliments or whatever. But for me, it's more like, just bury my head and into the next video, into the next project, continue myself going forward, trying to do something better, try to do the next best video kind of deal. And then try to stumble through trying to explain this and be like, okay, I'm not going to be able to do it perfectly, and that'll be fine. Eventually, I'll have the words to put this all together.
You did fine. You did exquisite. It's beautiful. It's we got it. I think everybody has gotten it.
Do you think that that's what it takes to make it in YouTube today? That kind of attitude, mentality. Like, sure, you can accept the things that you accomplish and be proud of your 100K plaque, but still be focused on the work, focus on the future. Do you think that's enough? That's what it takes to make it on YouTube today?
Well, I mean, I'd say there's like a couple things that it takes. This one is definitely going to be one of those hurdles that you will come into as you grow, as the channel grows, as you get bigger. And that's something that I think everybody's going to deal with. As for if this is the most important thing, I feel like if you're a big channel and you're just, when you gain all that fame and you want to continue growing, to not have that fall off, that is the most important thing. But I think the most important thing that a lot of people don't notice is the having fun with it, having fun with the content. Like, some people get into the YouTube thing and it's all about like, oh, I don't have enough subscribers, or I don't have enough numbers, or I don't have enough like the revenue that I'm earning from it. I don't know if this is anything for me, compared to somebody who's just like, yo, I'm having fun with this video. I got the next video. I got the fun aspect and enjoying what you do, whether you have the numbers or not. I think that one would be, I would rate it a little bit higher. Is that drive to just have fun with the YouTube and not take it too seriously and just follow your passions or whatever. So yes, there's a couple things that do go into it. I do think that whole like self-reflection and growth is going to be a hurdle for everybody to get through. But what I would rate higher is that the understanding that it's like not taking YouTube too seriously, having a lot of fun with it, finding some sort of drive and passion, and not making it about the numbers game. I think that'll be, I'd rate a little bit higher.
That's something we would know all too well, and it's actually really true. The passion has to be there, the love has to be there, and that comes with the fun as well. So ideally, if you're gonna do something of your own volition, make it something that you enjoy, something that's fun, something that you can be represented by or find yourself in. I think that's actually really cool. Anybody who can do that, props you, no matter what, or how big or how small you are. Much respect for that.
It's a really, really scary trap when you go into YouTube, doing YouTube, and you get a little bit of growth. The biggest trap is to fall into the numbers game, because it can really, really get you in a dark place and demotivate you and stuff. I mean, it's good to have control over it, to at least use it as a tool, but not as a motivator. I guess that would be when it comes to like the YouTube numbers and stuff. Oof. Well, I think I heard a WhatsApp. Was that your WhatsApp? Or Dal's WhatsApp?
I don't use a WhatsApp. No, that wouldn't be me. Unless it's my phone making weird noises.
No. It was definitely Flames. Oh, man, that was so cool, man. Well, Dal, I personally want to thank you. It was super cool to actually get a little behind more on what's the story, behind the camera, behind the duels, behind the content. Thank you so much for sharing all of this.
Oh, it was really fun.
It's basically
thanks for having me. This is actually insightful. I think I'm gonna start considering taking a break a lot more seriously in the future.
Yeah, man, it will definitely help you out in the long run, and I think it will help out when having fun, because I think this sort of attitude towards this whole content creation stuff, if you're having fun with it will definitely get out through the content. But in order to have more fun and be more creative and more productive, man, sometimes you just need to unplug the fuck out. That's it. Internet is tiring. So thank you once again for joining our what is it? Was it fifth episode?
I think it's the fifth episode.
It's the fifth episode with Dal. It's been a blast. Thank you, Mr. Flame. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Marcelian. And yes, if anybody If you don't know or if you haven't checked Dalaran out, we have a couple of links over here on the screen.
Somewhere
you
there.
should definitely check him out. It's really, really entertaining. And you get to
Or
see-
just stop in 551 duels and search. You'll see me. Trust me.
I don't think anybody else does that. So I think you're good.
You're the only one.
I was
guy.
about to make a joke. Like, I know there's a lot of those videos. A lot of people make those, but trust me, you'll find me up there. I think I'm literally the only one, unless, like, a stream clip here and there by Zario or somebody that did that with their viewers.
Yeah, there are a couple. Well, Soda Pop used to do them at some point, I believe.
Back in the day, yeah.
it was
Those were
something
really
like
cool.
that.
That's what inspired a lot of this. Just like having more people, not just top tier streamers on there.
No. It's. I think this is the 5v5 duels for the people. You understand me? It's like
True.
And it's consistent, man. That's one thing I forgot to mention about making content creation or streaming or whatever. Consistency is a bitch, but it gets you places, man. And look,
Consistency is key.
yes. So we can close it out with doubt. Okay, have fun with it and be consistent.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for listening. Remember, you can also listen to the audio version of this on Spotify and a bunch of other platforms. Soon enough on iTunes as well. But so far, we'll catch you guys and gals next Monday.
Next Monday with the 6th episode.
And we'll not spoil who it is.
No, of course
Just
not.
have to find out.
Take care, everybody. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Still I play WoW. Still I play WoW.